This video is to show how we can convert a bad LGB switch machine by removing a few parts and convert it to servo operation. I will go through it step by step in this video. Here is the LGB switch machine parts you need to retain for the conversion to servo control. You will need the case, the top, the rack, the top section of the pinion gear, and the 4 screws used for the cover. In the SG-90 Servo kit you will need the following parts: the double arm horn, and one of the long screws with the domed head. You are also going to need the 2 3D printed parts, the servo filler piece, and the adapter for the servo to the horn. Also a piece of 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch double stick tape. A few modifications have to be made to the LGB body and cover. What needs to be done to the body is some protrusions need to be removed. The yellow markings on both sides inside of the body need these protrusions removed. The best way I have found to remove the body protrusions is using a good sharp chisel. I'm going to move the angle here so you can see. Then just put the chisel flush against the wall and push down on the chisel. At that point, you can clean it up a little bit if needed, and you are done. On the underside of the LGB cover, there is a small protrusion next to the 2 screw openings. Just use a pair of flush cutters to remove this. Let's check the 3D printed adapter for the pinion gear, so it will fit on the servo pinion gear. It has a hole in the middle and 2 little holes on the other side. You need to check the holes on the 3D printed pinion adapter. This is to make sure the holes are the right size. Start by using a number 45 drill bit for the center hole. A hand drill should only be used on the adapter. Then turn over the adapter and take a number 55 drill to open the 2 small holes. Do not drill the holes deeper, just to the bottom of the printed holes. Now you can check if these 2 small holes are drilled out properly, as the adapter will go together and make a complete assembly at this point. The servo also needs to be modified. The servo mounting tab opposite of the servo control wires has to be removed. You can use a razor saw to remove the servo mounting tab. A file can be used to make sure the tab area is flush with the servo body. Now we are going to mount the pinion and pinion adapter to the servo. We're going to use the double-sided horn to find the center point in the servo throw. Let's rotate the servo horn to find the center of the throw. It is a little bit off, as you can tell. So I will move it 1 notch and try it again. That's pretty good. Now move the horn to the center position. Now take the pinion adapter end with the two slots, and fit it over the horn. Take the long screw from the servo kit, and screw the pinion adapter and servo horn to the servo. The adapter and horn will not rotate freely. Only when the servo moves. Take a pair of wire cutters and cut off the two horns flush with the pinion adapter. We are going to attach the LGB pinion gear to the pinion adapter by using 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch of shrink tubing. You may have to play with the shrink tubing a little bit the first time you use it. Slide about 1/2 inch of the shrink tubing over the pinion gear. Now twist the pinion gear until you feel the two pins drop into the holes in the pinion gear adapter. Now you have a connection that is not going to slip when the servo is operating. On the LGB Switch Machine case, you need to place the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch piece of double-sided tape and put it in this area shown here. Because there is a recess here, the double-stick tape is to help stabilize the servo. Do not remove the top side protective piece of the tape. Now place the servo assembly inside the LGB case. Check that the pinion gear aligns up correctly for the rack. The servo wire and connector has to pass through the LGB case. There is 2 ways you can do this, depending on which one you prefer. You can remove the 3 wires from the servo connector and pass the 3 wires in the lower hole in the case, then reconnect the 3 wires to the connector. Check that you did not place any of the wires in the wrong position. Or you can file out the centerpiece of the 2 holes in the LGB case so the connector can pass through, as you can see here. I am going to pass the servo connector through the LGB body and place the servo assembly in position inside the LGB case. We are now ready to secure the servo assembly using the 3D printed servo filler piece. The servo filler has a built-in area for the servo wires to be able to pass through to the opening in the LGB case, and also align with the servo mounting tab. Push down gently on the servo filler, making sure everything is in place. This locks in the whole assembly from moving. You see the servo is not moving in the LGB case. This is the end of the assembly. It is up to you in picking the software that you want to use for servo control. Before putting the top cover on, check that the servo travel is set to the mid position of travel and then place the LGB rack on the pinion gear at the center position. Put the top cover on and secure with the 4 LGB screws before operating the servo. To help in weather protection, RTV can be used to seal the openings for the screw holes on the top and also for the 2 wire holes on the end case.